Hi everybody, it's Jose. I'm here today with my special guest, Jason Gonzalez. He's with Innovative Mortgage Services. He is a mortgage broker, and actually I just wanted to ask you a few questions, Jason, and primarily the number one thing is, for those of you them out there that either have done a mortgage before, haven't done a mortgage before, essentially, if you could just sum up your job in one sentence, what would it be?
I help people obtain a loan for their new home purchase as easily and stress-free as possible.
Exactly. So if somebody doesn't have cash to make a home purchase, they're going to have to apply leverage or get some money from a financial institution.
Exactly.
And you are the guy in the middle that says, well, let me go ahead and look at all the products that are out there and look at your particular situation and find you the place that's going to give you the money at the best rate and the best terms possible.
Right. Yeah, that's correct. Actually, so what we do, since each individual situation is different and unique, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. So a lot of people will walk into a bank, and could be the bank that they have their checking and savings account with, and the people that they speak to and they give the loan application information to are not mortgage experts. They're not privy to, the thousands of different mortgage programs that we have available. They're just kind of there to take the information and then pass it along. So one of the benefits of working with myself is that we take all of your information, we kind of put it together, kind of like puzzle pieces, and we put together the best looking picture for you so that we can present that to the various lenders and make sure that we get you the very best deal possible.
Okay, fair enough. At least you can shop around for different products, where if somebody walks into their bank, they're just going to say, this is our product we're offering and this is as far as it goes. So at least you could shop around for some variety and like anybody, when you buy something, you want to shop around, right?
Yeah, definitely. Think this is probably the easiest analogy that I could think of is think about the difference between walking into a boutique store like a Burberry or a Louis Vuitton, or walking into a department store where you have various collections of different items and you can choose from there. You'll have more competitive pricing typically in a department store than you will in a different retail store or boutique store. And essentially it's the consumer, it's the buyer, it's the person refinancing, whoever's obtaining the mortgage that really benefits from those types of service and that approach, because it ensures that you're getting the very best deal possible and going the least stressful route, and ensure that you close on time every time.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. Now let me ask you a couple of questions here. Tell me, sum up, what do you like best about your job as a mortgage broker?
Honestly, I wake up every day and I do not feel like I'm working at all. I love what I do. I'm constantly doing it all day long, all night long. And what's really special to me is the impact that I can have on people's lives. A lot of people don't realize that homeownership is possible. A lot of people don't realize that there are so many different mortgage programs available that almost anybody with a want and a need to own a home, we can find a path to get you there. No matter where you're starting from, no matter what position you may be in now, we can always draw a line from there to exactly where you need to be in order to get into that home. And homeownership is obviously, one of the top goals for Americans and people all over the world. And we help make it happen. So, the countless thank yous and testimonials from all my clients about how we changed their lives and, being able to get deals done that nobody else can get done, and really seeing through all the paperwork and seeing, through all the black and white into the person and seeing their unique situation and how we can help them overcome some of the challenges that typical banks may present to them. So we basically are an advocate for the people, and we help them get the loans that they deserve without having to go through all the red tape at the banks.
Okay, fair enough. Now, I know, for instance, that's what you might particularly like about the mortgage industry and your job in particular. What are some things that you just don't like about the mortgage business, or something that you have to deal with on a regular basis? What makes your job difficult?
Okay, that's a great question, actually. There are a lot of inefficiencies in the mortgage business. Unfortunately, as I was mentioning before, in the big retail banks and the larger mortgage companies, the customers and the clients are only a number. They're not a Mr. or Mrs. Johnson. They're not a Jim or a Bob or a Brenda like they are with us. So the most difficult aspect and possibly frustrating aspect on the back end is making these people in the banks and financial institutions really see the stories of our clients and see through some of what may be negative on their records, and see the need and see that these people are really going to make their mortgage payments and help get them approved in situations where they may not be able to normally.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, Jason, let me ask you a question. If you could change one thing about the mortgage industry, snap of the fingers, and all of a sudden this is now become mainstream, or it's now a process that the mortgage industry now implements when approving customers for a loan, what's something that if you could change one thing about the mortgage industry overnight, it would be a new rule implemented or a change that takes place?
I think more transparency. I think more transparency in the business. I mean, they're constantly evolving and trying to do things to help the consumer understand exactly what's going on in the process. But to be honest with you, I mean, you go to a loan closing for a home purchase or refinance, and there's about 100, 150 documents that you have to read and sign. And I really feel like they could cut that down and make the process a lot simpler and easier for people. I know that that's one of our main focuses at Innovative Mortgage in my office, is to kind of take that complicated process and really make it simple for everybody to be able to follow and understand exactly where they are in the process, and how we can help get them to where they need to go.
Okay, excellent. Now, with real estate, or a lot of agents or real estate people or regular consumers that are watching, they typically know that when they hire a real estate agent, that real estate agent is going to get paid a percentage based off of the total sales price. So they say, listen, agent, you do your job, you'll get paid a percentage based on the sales price. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is, how does the mortgage lender get paid? Who pays them? How does that all work? And when I'm a buyer purchasing a mortgage, who am I paying? How does my mortgage lender get paid? How does all that work?
Yeah, again, an excellent question. The answer could vary, but I'll tell you from our perspective, the best part about it is that you can get our services where we can shop around with all the banks, make sure everything is good, take a look at everything, get it lined up in the most ideal situation, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Zero. So basically what ends up happening is that we, because of our size and our established nature, we're able to get wholesale deals and pricing from a lot of banks that a lot of banks that you may not have ever heard of as well. And we're able to get better pricing, so that way we can give the consumers a much better deal and have the banks pay us on the back end, so it costs the consumer absolutely nothing.
Okay, so basically you offer a wholesale deal or a wholesale price or rate to the consumer up front, and the lender will basically reward you for finding them a client that they could service the loan for the next 30 years or so.
Exactly. So the simplest way that I could put it is that, again, when you go into your bank, when you go into Wells Fargo, Bank of America, one of those large retail type banks, you walk in and what do you see? You see a bunch of offices, you see a bunch of people sitting there in the offices. All those people are getting paid big salaries to sit in that office, and they're hoping that you come in to get a loan. They're also spending millions of dollars on advertising and commercials, and all this stuff is baked into what they charge you for a mortgage. So our philosophy is we try to do everything paperless. We try to do everything as streamlined as possible so that we cut down the cost and overhead that a lot of these bloated financial institutions are carrying and pushing on the consumers, eliminating that, simplifying the process, and passing the savings on to the customer.
That makes sense. It's fair enough. Now, Jason, if there's one thing if you wanted to let anybody out there know, whether a realtor or consumer or anything like that, if there's anything that you want them to know about you or your mortgage company, just so they have a takeaway, what would that be?
Quite simply, we care. I care more than anybody else in this business for my clients. I will not sleep until we get you the best deal and we make sure that you get into your house. Rest assured. Because that in and of itself is really the most separating factor that I have, is the fact that you have somebody with 20 years experience, myself, that is looking out for you and your family and ensuring that that loan goes through. Whereas when you go somewhere else, they don't have that relationship. They don't have that sense of responsibility to you and your family to ensure that it gets done, because the volume of business that they have and the way that it's constructed, they don't even have time to form a relationship with you or care to the extent that I do. So I keep my client base small and tight, so that way I can ensure that everybody gets a top level of service and everybody's loan closes and everybody's happy.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you, Jason. I really appreciate it. And I could give a testimony. I've done business with Jason before. He's closed a lot of loans for our agents. We have satisfied customers. He doesn't sleep unless the deal's done. There are very few mortgage lenders that I let through the front door to do business with our associates here, and he's one of the few people that I do let through. So I want to thank you for your hard work, and you're in good hands if you work with Jason. Thanks again, Jason, for coming.
Thank you, Jose. It's been a pleasure. Anybody needs anything, just get in touch with us.
Excellent. How do they get in touch with you?
Well, you can visit us online at purchaseflorida.com. That'll be your best bet. Everybody's online these days. You can go ahead and complete an application there, or you can give us a call at 407-204-9600.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason. You have a great day.
Thank you.
Shake.